Right then, let's talk Spurs, shall we? More bad news. Peratici's 2.5-year ban has now been extended to the whole of football by FIFA. Remember, it was supposed to be just for Italy. This is the sporting director at Spurs. It is now being expanded worldwide. Spurs currently sitting fourth in the table, and this is really the big talking point when it comes to a Champions League race. According to the bookies, they are favourites still to take that spot. No, in fact, Newcastle are favourites ahead of Spurs, Liverpool and Brighton.
Why is this problem with Paratici bad news?
Well, because it's just another headache you don't need, do you? You've got all that faffing around now.
He's the guy who's supposed to have been bringing in the players.
Yes.
The players that Conte moaned about and said they weren't good enough.
Right.
I mean...
Yeah, it's just a mess. Is that fair? Is that all right? Can I say that?
But I don't... Well, it's definitely a mess behind the scenes.
Yeah, having a sporting director that can't do his job is a problem, I would suggest.
Well, according to the aforementioned Conte, he hadn't been doing it particularly well anyway.
Well, maybe the new manager will come in and be happy with Paratici, but now he can't do anything.
Well, it's not going to affect the players on the field.
No, and obviously...
Now and the end of the season.
And that's where I'm kind of trying to lead this conversation. Like, looking ahead between now and the end of the season, are Spurs going to finish in the top four?
Yes. Yes. Harry Kane's goals.
Right.
A break from having that whining manager.
Yes.
And also, maybe this Stellini and the other coaches will let the reins off a little bit.
OK.
Instead of playing this stoic, horrible, pedestrian football until they go 2-0 down or 1-0 down and it's a second half. And then we've seen an exciting Spurs because they've had to be. Maybe we'll see that a bit more. And that'll be beneficial to them.
Ian, what do you think?
Well, Newcastle have played 2 fewer games and they've got Tottenham at home still to play. So I think Newcastle are the worthy favourites. I've got the feeling they're just going to start running back into form a little bit as well, Newcastle. I think Tottenham's interesting. I mean, I think Craig's hit on a point there. With Conte now out the door and Stellini in charge, they know where they're going the rest of the season. Maybe that might refocus them. I think things had got pretty toxic. I'll be very interested to see how they play away at Everton, which I think is the Monday night game this coming weekend. How much have they got about them in a game like that, where Everton, again, are going to be really bearing their goals and bearing their teeth for Sean Dyche, because they're fighting, as you well know, at the other end of the table. So that's an interesting one.
Mario, what do you think? Do you think they regret getting rid of Conte?
No, yeah, of course. I mean, look, you don't want a manager who doesn't want to be there. That's for anybody. I mean, like all the players that were there, they could back the manager. But if the manager's not happy to be there, you got to let him go and pick somebody else. The only thing now what comes up, if they're going to be capable of getting to that spot, is also going to be like, how are they going to bounce from getting someone new in? When they have that answer right, because normally, look, every player we know, they were playing very good, continue their stride, but there are also some that were knocked down and were maybe on the bench or not even part of the squad. They have an opportunity now. And if they can perform to the better, then it becomes a better situation. And if it's not, I don't see Spurs, because I had Spurs. And I think in the beginning of the season, I had a feeling they could hit it to the top 4.
It's impossible to figure out how they're going to play those Spurs. Listen, when Conte was away, we talked about the same sort of thing. Well, the fact that he's not actually there, will they relax and play? Well, they did for one game, and then they turned around and lose to Sheffield United in the FA Cup. So because they don't have a manager now, and we're looking at the coaches just seeing it through to the end of the season, it's impossible to figure out what Spurs you're going to get.
What would you bet?
I would bet they'll win enough games between now and the end of the season that they'll take the fourth spot.
Do you think so? Ahead of Newcastle, despite that too?
Listen, I don't... There's far more experience in the Spurs side for a start, and I'm not so sure that Newcastle are ready to catch fire the way they did. They surprised us big time the way they were playing for that incredible spell.
Yeah.
I don't see them replicating that. I think Spurs are, like Craig, they'll be top 4.
What does the mayor of Newcastle say?
I think Newcastle finished top 4.
Of course.
I think
win the Champions League, the World Cup, the whole
we're going to do it all. We're going to win 6 trophies between now and then. Listen, I think Newcastle's dip in form came because they simply weren't scoring enough goals, and that was because Isak was injured. As soon as Isak got back fit and is now playing 90 minutes again, you see the uptick in that form. As long as he stays fit between now and the end of the season, I don't think there's any doubt Newcastle finished top 4. They've shown how stingy they are.
No doubt.
No doubt.
It's a bit tight for
no doubt.
No doubt. Ian, if Daniel Levy called you and said, who should I appoint as the new permanent manager, who would you say?
Well, I think there's going to be a big merry-go-round, isn't there, this summer around Europe as well, because the word is that Carlo Ancelotti, a big job at Real Madrid, he might be going off to manage Brazil. In any case, maybe they think that amicably it's kind of like the end of the line because they're not going to win the Spanish title. You've got a good list up there of the kind of people who will be involved. But, you know, Nagelsmann, is he going to be another Mourinho and Conte? He's very much his own man. You know, are they going to have him? Is that going to work as well? He's obviously a talented individual. But does he want to go to Tottenham? I mean, a lot's going to depend, isn't it, on whether they do make the top four, because the kind of guys you've got on that list will want to be managing in the Champions League. So, I don't know. I mean, Luis Enrique's put out a statement, hasn't he, today saying, yeah, he'd love to be in the Premier League, but not for any team. I don't know what that meant. Was that like not Tottenham or?
Yeah, he wants to win things, didn't he? That was pretty much what the quote said.
I particularly enjoyed the Arne Slot bemusement yesterday.
Yeah, well, this is what Luis Enrique said. I'd like to go to England to work, but I don't see myself in the Premier League in July because I would like to go to a team there that can do important things, and that is very difficult. I would not go to any Premier League team.
Oh, big time
Spurs brackets. Arne Slot confused us a little yesterday.
I mean, who doesn't know who Arne Slot is?
I apologise, Mario, to your fellow country. I had no idea who Arne Slot was, who was in the betting as well.
Oh, he's doing really well in Holland. He's playing the football that actually Ajax is a little bit jealous of because he's at Feyenoord. And there are the big rivalries of Ajax. And his team is leading the charts at the moment. So that's why everybody's talking about it. Why? Because he's clearly one of the best coaches we have now in Holland. And there's no doubt about it, because the way he puts his team down, it took him a long time to get Feyenoord to where it is right now. And the way they play football. And of course, the rivalry game that was between Ajax and Feyenoord beat them in a way that normally I have played so many years at Ajax. And whenever I played Feyenoord, we always felt very confident. And in this game, leading up to it, Ajax still said the same thing, and they got beat.
Wow, there you are, Stevie.
Hey, if he's that good, give him the Dutch job.
No, not yet, my friend. Because Koeman had the job before. He had the job before. They did really well, So don't get it wrong. He had the job before. Then Van Gaal came in because Koeman got the Barcelona job. Yeah. And he always said that I would take the Barcelona job no matter what. So when they came to him, he took that job. He couldn't. They already disputed that. They had that conversation already before. And then now you're saying Slot, they will not give it to him straight away because Koeman had his team running really well before Van Gaal came in.
That was another mystery how he got that job.
Mario, who would you choose as the next Spurs manager?
Spurs manager? Oh,
yes.
Man. I didn't like the situation Pochettino left. So I was at the final when I watched the final, and I never understood why they let him go. So if I could pick it, yeah. You know, Spurs is always a sensitive thing then you're asking me because that is just...
Why can no one give me a straight answer when I ask this question? Who would you have, Mario?
Pochettino I will pick.
Pochettino. There we go. Perfect. Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.